Good afternoon, members of the media. I start my briefing this morning on a sober note. I can confirm that we now have 2 more casualties, bringing the total number of deaths due to TC Yasa to 4. The latest casualty are a 50-year-old man from Nalawara and a 70-year-old man from Yanduamba. We extend our sincere condolences to their families. Teams are to be deployed from Viti Levu tomorrow, comprising the disciplined forces, essential services, and civil servants to distribute food rations and NFIs or non-food items to villages and communities in the most affected areas in Vanua Levu. We will provide updates on areas of distribution as we receive them. In the meantime, our teams have been mobilized and are out on the ground today conducting initial damage assessment, given the extent of the areas and the communities affected by TC Yasa. Upon the completion of this assessment, we will be in a better position to determine the details of the assistance in terms of food and non-food items. In the meantime, we are prioritizing deployment of food and available non-food items to the Northern Division. We have received many requests for information from the public, especially those in most affected provinces. I wish to advise the communication line and the power utilities were down, and the teams are working on restoring it. Would also like to express our deepest gratitude to the development partners for their commitment and assistance to the Fijian government with response effort, and also to the civil society and faith-based organization members for complementing the work that we are doing on the ground. I acknowledge the Red Cross for commencement of work in Vanua Levu. We have been receiving inquiries from businesses and communities and individuals who want to provide support and help for those in need. We are grateful for this, and we humbly request if you could please come through the divisional officers, or in this case, do come through the NDMO to provide you guidance so that we do not duplicate assistance and cause more panic in Vanua Levu as it is. For aerial assessment, we have a P3 flight from New Zealand flying as we speak, capturing damages or aerial damages in Vanua Levu, and we should have the full scope of aerial damages by this evening. The Australians will also be flying the second flight tomorrow. We hope by then we'll have the clearance from Met Office to fly for the Australian flight to cover the Eastern Division to get the full scope of damages in the areas of concern. For the evacuation center, there are approximately 16,113 Fijians in the evacuation center across Fiji. While most evacuees are returning home, there has been an increase in centers and evacuees in the Northern Division. This is expected, and there are now 6,644 evacuees in 128 evacuation centers as compared to 74 evacuation centers yesterday. For the Maritime Island, the Fiji Met Services has advised that the Lau, Lomaiviti and Kandavu waters are still under warning, while the rest of Fiji is clear. Upon their advice, the MSF has released advisory surrounding that. This will be reviewed again tomorrow. Upon clearance from Fiji Met Office, MSF will then do the necessary advisory. I would like to remind the public to please boil drinking water, store food for safety, as it has been proven the rise in LTD cases after a disaster. Curfew times as of today reverts to COVID-19 hours, which is 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. across Fiji. For evacuation centers, just the detail per division. As I'd mentioned earlier, for Northern Division, we have 128 evacuation center. That's a total of 6,644 evacuees. For the Western Division, we have 68 evacuation center open, 3,542 evacuees. In the Central Division, we have 87 evacuation center open, 4,434 evacuees, and the Eastern Division, 29 evacuation center with 1,493 evacuees. Again, that brings us to a total of 312 evacuation center and 16,113 evacuees. Ladies and gentlemen, that was what had eventuated this morning. If there's any question, I will take them now.
Any update on Southern Law? Have you been in contact with the Southern Law?
I understand that the public has also been asking. As we speak right now, we have Commissioner Easton and his team are still trying to establish communication. They have established communication in Lakemba. As of this morning, the update from Lakemba, there is no casualty. However, we've yet to ascertain the other parts of Laos. So as of when we receive that information, we'll release that as well.
Okay, just this morning we contacted Ambara. One thing they raised to us is there is a missing 35-year-old woman right now. They are trying to find, we contacted police about it. We've been trying to contact NDMO, but they
Okay.
So, inform you guys about it. And most of the people in Laos are just asking for food and assistance for them. That's in Moala, Maktuku, Rata, and those, we've been in contact with them. And they have been asking for assistance in terms of food.
Okay. For those that have made contacts to the island, we ask that you send your information across to the Commissioner Easton to help him with planning. For us, what we have prepared ourselves is having the Australians support in flying their plane tomorrow. Because of the distance between the main island and the maritime islands, we would like to go as a team. So when we deploy assistance to all the small islands, we would like to not only take food ration only for Matuku, we would like to cover all the islands. In order to do that, we have to have the overview of the damages across all the islands in Matuku. In the whole Southern Laos group. Like I said, we will wait for the aerial assessment to come from the flight that will from Australia. In addition to that, all the information that the publics have been receiving, we ask that you forward those information across to the Commissioner Easton's office to help them plan, so we can also plan in advance in regards to deployment.
I understand that your team is still doing initial damage assessment, and with the minister, certain officials, government officials, the local region, have you received any information on what it looks like for those affected areas from the ground? Maybe some information that's been passed on to you?
One of the issues, again, for the Northern Division, it's communication. So what we're trying to do is not only mobilize deployments of food ration and NFIs per discussions with the Commissioner Northern's office, but also mobilize people to man the Emergency Operations Center to give them further support. For the extent of the damage, we can all see that. It's been posted on all social media platforms. From the government's perspective, we will need to verify all this information with our people on the ground to ensure that the resources, the food, the shelter kits, hygiene kits are delivered and are shared accordingly, and that there's no double dipping when it comes to assistance. So we're trying to better manage that space as well.
Do you guys believe in the Maritime Safety Authority? Because yesterday the MSAF had released a statement issuing this for only essential boats or vessels carrying immediate relief assistance to island islands are allowed to go without clearance. What about for in terms of passengers boats from the island and stuff? Do they have to follow a certain channel?
Like I mentioned as part of my brief, MSF and also NDMO don't move unless the Met Office gives that clearance. We are waiting for the Fiji Met Office to give their cancellation of all strong winds and then mobilize. So even with the wind exiting this morning, the waves that they're reporting is still high. And we leave it to, these are the advices that we provide MSF, and because it's there within their jurisdiction, they will then advise as per the expert in that area. But like I said, as of this morning, apart from Lau Water, Kandavu Water, Lomai VT Group, other waters, MSF has given clearance for them to sail. At the end of the day, it's about saving lives. We are doing our response now. The last thing we want is say yes, and then we end up trying, us going in to try and rescue you, and we're trying to really help those that are in need at the moment.
One last question. In terms of evacuation centers, NDMO providing or government providing food to them, assistance, help?
As it is, the government is pushing out 10,000 food ration pack tomorrow. That 10,000 food ration pack is for immediate those that are residing in the evacuation center and those that are in need. Not only the food ration is going tomorrow, we're also deploying, like I said, the non-food items, shelter toolkits, tarpaulins. And in that space, we are working with our partners and NGOs to complement the government asset for deployment tomorrow. So confirming again, yes, government is providing food ration to evacuees in the Northern Division, and that's going to be part of the deployment tomorrow.
Central and Western Division?
Central Division, as you can see outside, the sun is out. So right now, as we speak, the police and the divisional officers are visiting the evacuees' home just to ensure that it's safe for them to return. And I encourage evacuees as well that are still in the evacuation center, please move back home if your home is safe, to allow first responders to allow us to prioritize our effort to the much needed public or much needed citizens in Vonolevu. And that note as well, we've yet to get the numbers from the Eastern Division. So while we are working, the team is planning ahead for deployment to Vonolevu, we are also planning now for deployment to the Eastern Division.